The gang is back in class. Amelia Perez is a Hitler supporter, and Paul Schrader crosses over to the even darker side.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for shows.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Konnichiwa, classmates. Welcome to a middle class film class. I'm your host for today, Plaid Pants Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
I'm just plain old Pete.
We have a great show for you today. Welcome everyone on YouTube Live. Thank you very much for joining us, and otherwise, and of course, the OG audio only classmates in podcast land.
Yes, Plaid Pants Tyler. You're gonna make that your whole personality now.
It's
PPT.
It's in pencil.
PPT.
PTP.
It's in it's in pencil.
There's a subreddit called "Look at My Fucking Red Pants."
Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's a website for a while. It's like "Look at My Fucking Red Pants.substack.com" or something like that.
Weird. That's
Wearing red.
People wearing red pants.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of wearing like interestingly colored pants. I like these are some sort of like a burnt sienna or like a clay color or something like that.
I have those kind of pants too.
But I used to have a pair of red pants. I was like, look at my fucking redpants.com. That's all I need to know.
I'm like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been in the studio. It's great to be back. Joseph and I were infirmed.
Together.
You said we were back?
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
He's back. He's back.
Not this again.
I'm back.
Yep. Yes. Yep. A drunk Randy Quaid. Gotta love it. Oh my god, it keeps going.
Great. Classic. Welcome back, fellas.
Yes, it's glad to be back in the Abeyta studios.
It is glad to be back.
It just feels right now with all the calamity going on in the world. It feels right that we can be spinning our noise for all of the classmates out there internationally.
Do you guys go ahead.
Are you going to wear the sunglasses the whole time?
What? Why? What does it matter?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, I'm sensitive to light.
Are you?
So,
And now this first time has happened in 5 years. It's finally rearing its ugly head. Yeah. I actually have these lights lower than I normally do. I did some settings changes while you guys were out.
His future's so bright.
Actually,
Glasses on 'cause my future's so bright.
No, actually, I lied. I was just trying to go for a new look on camera.
That's cool. Hey, new Tyler, new PTP, new you.
I mean, I'm just trying something new. I feel cool in
Do you
these,
feel
man.
underencumbered, like you've lost some baggage in your life recently?
Ooh, yeah.
Or gain some.
I think more or less both of those statements are true.
Hey, here's to losing emotional baggage that we don't need in our lives, right?
Oh, yeah. Cheers. I
And
got it.
gaining
looking right at the camera
into
when I said that.
to the new emotional baggage that is now with us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all healthy now. I mean, relatively speaking, I
Speak for
slept on my back funny, so like I have a sore shoulder. I took a shower today. So
Really?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean,
Fooled me.
Did you smoke a cigarette right before you showed up or something?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I like to burn a nail before I go on air.
Love that. Yeah. Fill your body full of smoke and then come into my clean house.
Yeah.
And I'm asthmatic, right?
Yeah, I do, but
I don't care.
I figured it was.
I figured whatever.
Doesn't that only affect you when there's smoke around?
No.
Or the smell of smoke?
Oh, yeah.
Also affects it?
Secondhand smoke.
That's
man.
third-hand smoke, actually.
Third-hand smoke.
Yeah, because you would
when
have
it's
to
on
be
the-
smoking for it to be secondhand
Yeah,
smoke.
correct. It's third-hand smoke.
I secondhand smoke 2 packs a day.
I mean, enough about myself though. How have you guys been? How have you been holding up in this?
Well, you were sick 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was infirmed. Yeah.
I was sick last week.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, it wasn't that bad.
I'm just a sick individual.
And Pete's just here all the time anyway.
I know. Did you guys watch the solo shows?
I caught a little bit of it.
Which
and
one?
Both. I did both.
Yeah, he did the streaming pics and then the physical media. The physical media one I loved. And
The other one, not so much.
Yeah, that one, if C minus.
I have to say, because I wanted to bring this point up, because I tried to launch Tyler and Company many moons ago, and I just couldn't do it because the thought of doing a solo show like seems appealing at first, but like once those mics go hot, like there's just something that like triggers me in my body. It's like I just like clam up. Did you have that same feeling when you did a solo show? Because I mean, you handled it like a pro.
Well, I actually thought about what I was going to say, you know, like the cadence of the show. Mm-hmm. But the point is, like, I'm passionate about the things that I've bought. Like, I bought them for a reason because I like them, and I have a reason why I like them, and I just shared that passion with the people. So Tyler and Company, I didn't think was supposed to be a solo show. I thought it was supposed to have guest on from
That's
time
what
to
the
time.
company comes in.
Yeah, that's where the company is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, mostly I'm going to be talking about myself because I'm a narcissist. So, like, I'm just going to be.
This show's about me.
Yeah. Oh, you're here? Yeah, let's get to you later.
Yeah.
First, how do you like my hair?
Yeah,
Look good?
exactly.
Do I smell
Exactly.
good? Wait, don't answer that.
There's a
like how
reason
you-
why I'm wearing brown pants.
Yeah. I like how you said that Tyler, wanted to start Tyler and Company. Yet, one person in this room has produced 2 episodes of Tyler and Company, and
That's
it's not you.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
It's me. I made the show for you, and you didn't even take that momentum and run with
We
it.
gave you the cards to read off.
I know.
for the show.
What a telling.
I had the Parker Newman on your show.
What-
on your show.
I know you had the Parker Newman.
Yeah. I had your cat Lucas on the show.
Oh yeah, Lucas has. Yeah, he was a big star on the
I
show.
book talent.
Yeah.
My name gets pulled in this town.
I know. That's true. That's true. They hear Abeyta, they come running.
They come running. That's right. Sometimes it's away, obviously,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Well, Joseph, are you feeling better now?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah?
pretty much all the way better now. Deanna's the one that's sick. She
Wait,
was
now she's infirmed?
yeah, not as bad
Jesus.
as not as bad as I was, but
It just never stops.
she's got a stronger immune system being surrounded by disgusting little kids.
It was funny that Deanna had some like sort of craft day that she was going to do with Brianna and some other girls.
Yeah.
And you had just not shown up for the podcast because you were sick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, or maybe it was 2 days later, Deanna goes, "Are you still coming to the craft day with me, Brianna?" And she's like, "Fuck no." No, because your husband is sick, which means you're going to get sick and you're going to be around all these other people and they're all going to get
And
sick.
now she's sick.
And now Deanna's sick and Brianna is not.
Well,
She's also a raving hypochondriac.
Yeah.
It's probably the reason why I'm not
Yeah.
sick, because she wipes down every. She actually follows. She has if you ever notice when you guys are over, she got a little notepad with her. She follows around everywhere that Tyler touches, and then
Wait, me?
and then sanitizes it afterwards.
I mean, I don't blame her. I don't blame her, honestly. I really don't blame her.
I mean, I've definitely been more conscious recently just because of the quademic we're going through.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
I've never even heard of that term, quademic.
Yeah, it's like
There's
it's
more.
not even like I'm worried about
There's
like,
multiple
myself, I'm also
pandemics happening at once now.
worried about bringing stuff home for like my dog or my cat, stuff that gets latched onto my clothes or something.
Don't wanna get them sick.
I shed my shell, the clothes that I wore out during the day.
At this point, it's just like let's dress up as Jake Gyllenhaal from Bubble Boy.
I did that when I was a painter. I'd get home from work and I'd immediately take my clothes off and wash them because I didn't want to bring the chemicals into the house.
Yeah, but
And then I realized-
they're already in your body.
Yeah, but not in the rest of the house.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm sacrificial. I'm only here for a limited time. This house will remain in 100 years.
That customer's car needs to be painted.
Yeah.
Damn my health.
What are we doing, Tyler? Is this jab and chat or what?
Yeah, it is. Let's get into it. What are we doing here?
Find some charity, ye lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
All right, Gab and Chatter, movie news and movie discussions that we have for this week. I'm going to start us off. I know it's a little bit unconventional,
I like it.
but
I like it, taking ownership.
Pulling the rug from under us.
That's PTP for you.
yeah, exactly. So I was thinking about this for about a couple of weeks about what actor would we like to see a comeback. I mean, we saw Brendan Fraser have a comeback with The Whale. We saw Demi Moore with The Substance, which I still need to check out. I've heard some great things about it.
It's great.
And Robert Downey Jr. famously
Left for the schmutz.
was a heel and then became Iron Man, and now he's a mainstay.
He was Cocaine Man, then he went to Iron
Yeah,
Man.
I'm surprised he still has his nasal cavity at this point. With all of that,
He should still go to work, though, when he's sick.
Keanu Reeves came back.
Yeah, it's true.
He became more not in terms of like people opinion of him,
he was always considered like a bad actor, but charming. And then after Speed, people were like, okay, maybe he's got it. And then he did like Something's Gotta Give, and he's like, no, he definitely doesn't have it. And then the Matrix,
he did the Lake House.
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot about the Lake House. And then he did the Matrix.
But
and
he's very well regarded now. I don't know if that's
McConaughey.
I was going to say McConaughey had the McConaissance.
But Matthew McConaughey.
He never went away.
Made a good.
But he went to his. He ascended.
That was a really good impression of him.
That wasn't an impression.
Oh, it wasn't.
No. He never went away, but he did.
He never went away.
He did ascend to the next level.
Movies are like movies are a flat circle.
I fucking knew it was coming. So do you have one for us, Tyler?
Yeah. So
someone who needs a comeback.
I was thinking Emil Hirsch. Recently,
I like Emil Hirsch.
Yeah, Emil Hirsch. He was.
When's the last we reviewed something with him in it?
Into the. Did we review Into the Wild?
Talked about Into the Wild.
I talked about Into the Wild. We never actually reviewed it.
No.
So yeah, I was thinking about Into the Wild recently, and I was thinking I haven't really seen.
I should do that. Is that what you said?
I should do that.
I'm a child from an affluent family. I should go on the run, live in a bus in Alaska, and eat berries.
Except for the poison berries part. Let's not do that part.
Well, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually did consider doing that exact same thing, and thankfully I am too lazy and stubborn and I'm a creature of comfort at the end of the day. So I couldn't subject myself to the uncomfortableness of being out on the road.
Freaks. He was in Freaks.
Oh yeah, he was in Freaks. Yeah.
6-7 years ago. Damn.
But yeah, so I was thinking about Emil Hirsch recently, and I thought, man, he is a dynamite actor, and I would like to see him in a more mature role because he's older now. Like he's like what in his like mid to late 40s. I'd have to imagine.
He was born in 85, so he's 38. We're the same age.
All right.
He's born like 3 months before me.
Wow, he's the same age. Oh, Jesus Christ! All right,
me and Emil on Against the World.
He's been
a good pick. That's a good pick.
He's been in a lot of projects,
mostly bad recently.
But yeah, mostly bad, except for this one called Bow.
Oh, Bow.
Artist at War.
Yeah, that's and he plays the titular Joseph Bow.
Wow.
Was he Sean
McNamara directed this. Oh, that's interesting.
I never heard of this.
Yeah, I haven't either. Sean McNamara also directed Reagan most recently.
Reagan. Oh, the Dennis Quaid Reagan.
That's interesting.
But yeah, like Emil Hirsch, and then I would have to say like the anti one that I have is Hayden Christensen. Because there's been a lot of talk of people like saying that Hayden Christensen like deserves like a chance. He's a good actor. Granted, he was really good in the Obi-Wan series where he played Anakin and Darth Vader.
That was kind of his comeback.
Kind of, but like he didn't break out of the Star Wars.
No, he was still in Star Wars.
Yeah, so like I was thinking much akin to Brendan Fraser, if like he could have a role like that and then prove himself to gain my confidence in his ability to act, then
have you seen any of his stuff that's not Star Wars? How do you know he's not already a good actor and proven that?
Well, I saw some clips of
no.
Clips don't count.
Have you seen the movies? Have you seen any of his movies?
No.
Then let's move on.
All right. Joseph, do you have any actors that you would like to have a comeback?
The actor who played Jar Jar Binks, I think deserves a second chance.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. But let's workshop this. So like maybe like he does a movie about him reconciling his personal life of being the role of Jar Jar Binks. Like, what if he became like a maniac and he thought he was Jar Jar Binks in his personal life, and it ruins his family?
Ahmed Best is the guy's name. Ahmed Best.
I mean, he got a lot of flack for playing that role.
Yeah,
because people didn't
deservingly so.
Well, I don't think he deserved the hate, the backlash for it.
Just stop.
Take off the sunglasses.
Yeah,
no,
you're looking very Trumper right now.
I am.
Yeah, you're looking maybe a little Unabomber.
Who plays the host in Joe Dirt, the radio host?
I don't remember.
The one that he's telling the story to. He's like a comedian.
Dennis Leary?
No, not Dennis Leary. I think he is a Dennis.
Ron White?
I'll look it up right now.
You're reminding me of him right now,
Really?
and I don't think
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller.
Dennis.
I'm assuming. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Oh, he played the
It is Dennis Miller,
fireman. in
Yeah,
the
for some reason it's reminding me of that right
Okay.
now, mixed with Kid Rock.
Really?
You got Kid Rock vibes. He's also in Joe Dirt.
Yeah,
And he can't read.
Well, I mean,
he just showed up and they started rolling.
Yeah, I found my hero. Whatever.
yeah, that's exactly how I.
I think Steven Seagal
Fuck yeah.
deserves a comeback.
Steven
Seagal, Chevy Chase.
Fuck no.
I think Chevy Chase
Hate
deserves.
that guy.
I think he's a decent human.
Really? Wow.
Now you're talking like Tyler.
Well, yeah, no.
I think there's nothing. I don't think he's controversial at all.
Yeah.
Neither is Steven Seagal whatsoever. And he's good at martial arts too. I think he should.
Have you seen that video of him taking down those?
Yeah, he took them all down.
Took them all
Effortless.
down.
It's
Effortless.
Yeah. But he barely lifted a finger.
I know.
They
Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was like defying gravity.
But
Yeah.
again, there's also a movie to be made about that as well. Someone playing Steven Seagal in a movie about his life. and
Yeah,
how
Will
he
Sasso.
He kind of went.
That's a good one.
Will Sasso does owe Steven Seagal.
Yeah, he does a great Steven Seagal.
He kind of went the opposite Nicolas Cage route. Like he was in a lot of movies, but in an even worse way.
Yeah.
Like it's like they were both paralleling like careers, but Nicolas Cage went to
Into a
the
greater-
positive
yeah.
outcome, and then Steven Seagal went to the alt-right
Yeah.
weird
Yeah. Well, because
Putin supporting bastard.
it was weird. But I mean, Nicolas Cage is self-aware enough to know, like, yeah, he's doing like some
Wild projects,
wild stuff.
making wild choices.
So but he's self-aware, but Steven Seagal believes in his bullshit. He believes he took down those people in that competition in Russia. Like
He believes that he was
He
not just a
believes it.
cook.
Yeah.
In Under Siege.
Yeah. He believes that he was from Louisiana also.
Yeah.
It's insanity. It's insanity.
And he's like a sheriff, or he was a sheriff.
Yeah,
or
he was a
something.
sheriff, like for what was it, ANC?
Yeah, something like that.
I can't think of any genuine
I got one.
actors. Aaron Eckhart.
He's good. Yeah, I think he's good in almost anything except for the core. Actually, he was good in the core.
Yeah, he just doesn't have good projects except for The Dark Knight.
Except in the core.
Yeah, and the core.
Wasn't he in Burn After Reading too?
I don't
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember him in that.
I think I'm thinking of Brad Pitt because they have like the same sort of hairstyle.
Okay.
Kind of.
I don't think those two people have ever been compared to each other.
Huh.
Kind
Well, it
of
was the
Aaron
first-
Eckhart or Chris Christopherson, the same person basically.
Chris Christopherson.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah. I think Charlie Chaplin. I think he deseres to come back.
He's still with us.
Did you mention on the show that Chris Christopherson is grandfather of Hana?
Yeah.
He's the Hana, our friend Hana, that's writing, producing, directing, and starring in Mother Wound, the short film we worked on together.
Yeah.
She's Chris Christopherson's granddaughter.
Oh, nepotism at its finest.
I know.
Yeah. She's rolling in it.
Self-funded movie nepotism.
Yeah, when I learned that was wild.
I know, it's super weird.
I was like starstruck, like by proxy. I was like, your dad was Whistler. Or your grandfather was Whistler.
Yeah. Whistler. I got one.
Okay.
And it was in A Star Is Born.
What? Wow.
Rick Moranis.
Oh yeah.
Moranis. He took he decided to leave Hollywood to focus on his family.
Yeah,
Then he got
because-
sucker punched in New York City.
Yeah, well, his wife. Yeah, that was a tragedy of its own, and then also his
Tyler,
wife
where were
is
you
in the
that day?
ground.
Where were you?
Where were you that day? That fateful day. 9/11.
9/11.
I think so. I would like to see Rick Moranis. He's just a figure that I love in general, like personality wise, and all his roles.
Mm-hmm.
And also Alison Lohman, who left. She's a smaller figure, but she's the girl from Drag Me to Hell. Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell.
Oh.
And she's the blonde actress. She's been in a bunch of stuff, and she's good in everything. She's also the love interest in Big Fish.
Oh.
She left also to basically raise a family and just get out of the industry. And she's very active on social media because they decided to bring back Drag Me to Hell as a 4K, and she became like up again and like talking again, like and talking about her career and stuff like that, or what it used to be. and posting all these behind the scenes videos of her getting
I've seen
literal
those.
bugs
Poured on
blasted
her.
into her mouth on set.
Oh yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
like, "This was fun, not buy the 4K, so my pain was not worthless," or something like that.
It wasn't in vain.
Exactly. So, but
Yeah.
Rick Moranis is my real answer.
Yeah, I think Rick Moranis. I mean, what kind of? I don't want to. I don't know what role I could see him in.
Sinbad.
Oh yes, now we're talking.
Sinbad resurgence.
This is my house.
Yeah.
Sinbad Assance.
Yeah.
Now it's a what do they call it? Mandela effect that he was in a movie where he plays a genie.
Yeah.
But it's not-
Shazam.
but-
Shazam.
But it wasn't a real movie.
No, Kazam is the one with Shaq.
Yep.
So people thought Shazam was a real movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Shazam is a movie, but
it's-
it's
but
not.
it's not.
People have gone so far to make a fake VHS tapes and stuff for it. You can buy them now. It's like fan made artwork on the cover. So you're like, yeah, I got my copy of Shazam, and people are like, see, I knew it existed.
It's
Why did society think that was a thing?
because
of
Sinbad.
racism.
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 You know,
Tall
maybe.
black man, make funny joke, is a genie.
Is Sinbad tall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he? He's big. He's a big boy.
Really?
He's not Shaq tall, but he's tall.
Sinbad height. He's 6'4".
Yeah. He's a big fella.
Yeah, he's a
And Shaq is 7'4", I think.
Yeah.
7'2", I think.
Shaq height.
I'm gonna guess 7'2". That's my guess.
7'1".
Ooh,
Oh,
that's close. Okay. But yeah, anyways, Rick Moranis is my pick.
all right. Yeah,
Good discussion.
could see it.
Shaq.
There you go.
Come back to acting, please. We're all waiting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we definitely.
Kazam 2.
too.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, hell yeah. Joseph, do you have any news stories or discussions you have for us and the classmates this week?
Yes. So this happened a couple weeks ago, January, like end of January.
January 6th, national holiday.
Yeah. What'd you guys do that day?
Celebrating.
To celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah, celebrating.
My eyes were glued to the television screen.
Yeah. So Paul Schrader is a director. He's a filmmaker.
Great segue. January 6th, Paul Schrader. He was probably there. He
some
probably was there.
Some overlap. Maybe.
He's
Yeah.
insane. He's an insane man.
He's kind of an interesting
Yeah.
person.
I can't get a read on him. He's like the evil David Lynch.
Yeah.
His mind works in ways that I can never comprehend.
He's like, if David Lynch is chaotic good, he's chaotic evil.
hey, Bruce is in the chat.
And we've reviewed a couple of his movies, First Reformed and The Card Counter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a unique flavor of movie for sure. Man in a room, writing notes,
Yeah. Manifestos.
genre. Yeah.
But it's funny because like in both of those, like their ultimate goal, I guess, is like altruistic. It's like
Yeah,
it's
in
like,
a sense.
it's
yeah.
environmentalist in First Reformed, and the other
Yeah.
one's about like anti-corruption, anti-torture, Guantanamo Bay is bad, that sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. It's weird.
But he doesn't come off as believing in those
doesn't-
things.
No, it doesn't.
And in real life,
He just found an audience.
Yeah.
and he's
So
like,
Paul
all right.
Schrader is embracing artificial intelligence in possibly the worst way.
okay.
As someone who wrote the script for First Reformed and The Card Counter and all these movies, you know, like seems very screenplay forward
Yeah.
first, you know, writer director. And he's embracing Chat GPT to come up with stories and give feedback to scrits.
So
His
he's-
own scripts.
So he's writing scripts into Chat GPT for.
So he says in a Facebook post,
Facebook
he
is
wrote
wild.
Taxi Driver as well,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
also, I mean, which is like a classic
Yeah.
movie.
Also a man alone in his room with
Yeah.
a mission. Technically altruistic, but also kind of like a terrorist.
So he's been impressed by the results of ChatGPT. In quotes, he says, he asked the AI platform to generate plots for movies by famous filmmakers, including himself.
Okay.
So he says, in quote, "I'm stunned. I just asked ChatGPT for an idea for a Paul Schrader film, then Paul Thomas Anderson, then Quentin Tarantino, then Harmony Korine, then Ingmar Bergman, then Rossellini, Lang, Scorsese, Murnau, Capra, Ford, Spielberg,
All the heavy hitters.
Lynch. Every idea ChatGPT came up with in a few seconds was good and original and fleshed out. Why should writers sit around for months searching for a good idea when AI can provide one in seconds?"
Oh, Schrader.
Wow.
Now he is a for sure boomer.
Yeah.
Like he is an old man.
I know like on the show I've said that like the AI shtick that's happening right now, it was an inevitability, but I don't agree with it. And
You don't agree with what you said? Or
No,
you don't agree with
I don't agree with I
You're
don't
like it's an
I don't-
inevitability that you don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, because I remember you guys were belly aching, but good, because you're like, oh, you agree with the AI, Tyler? I was like, no, I don't. I'm just telling you this in the capitalist society that we live in. Of course, it was going to be an inevitability. And
So your thoughts about that are just like gun control. Probably gonna have more stricter laws passed. It's an inevitability, but you're not a fan of it.
That's not.
That's what you're saying.
Not exactly what I'm saying, but I'm saying Paul Schrader, he was probably half drunk in front of his computer, and he's like, "What's this Chat GPT about? Oh, scripts about Quentin Tarantino or written by Quentin Tarantino?" And then him being loads and loads of cash in his bank account, just sitting there, just lazy. And he's like, "This is actually pretty cool, guys."
It's
Not even realizing the creative process.
I'm
Of course, it's months and months of.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second.
Go ahead.
Okay. And this is no co-opting approval of the Chat GPT. But if you were to use it solely for the initial thought, like the very basic premise, and think of it in terms of like, okay, Pixar movie, what if your refrigerator could feel, and you're like, that's a bad idea.
It's a brave little toaster.
Yeah. Hey, brave little toaster. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're basically taking like a very threadbare idea, and then the human extrapolates that into something that is worthy.
Kind of like an ignition sort of thing.
That initial spark.
Yeah, just like the very simple core of it all. I still think that that's bullshit, because that's like truly is a full shortcut to whatever the next. It's almost like
because it just shows that the idea is already out there. It exists.
Mm-hmm.
That idea is out there for the taking. It's just the AI or the Chat GPT is just a sort of, I guess, lazy way of acquiring it.
It's like a lightning rod.
It's a cheat code
Mm-hmm.
to getting an idea.
Which is like, that's still much better than it wrote the entire script and then I polished it, because that's what the Brutalist is under attack for, because they used AI models to create very basic ideas of structures, and then humans actually made similar structures. They're like, oh, that's an interesting idea. Oh, that looks kind of similar to what I'm imagining a Brutalist structure looks like. So we'll take some of this and some of this and some of this, and we'll whole cloth create something new. That's like, I still don't think that that's great. It's emotionally, or it's creatively bankrupt, but it's not nearly as bad as them saying, type in the thing,
and then
put it into Photoshop, and then clean up the edges and represent it as your own.
Yeah. That's what I'm on the same page with you as well on that aspect.
I feel like those ideas usually come from dreams or drug induced, psychosis. Because like a lot of like our favorite artists, whether they're musicians or painters or writers or anything, they're drunk, drug addicted assholes that basically face death or face their own demons, and then they come up with their ideas or they create their art because of it.
I think Rick Rubin put it the best. He said that when you're creating, just do it as a hobby for no one. Like he said, if you want to write songs and record them, but you are determined to what?
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bruce makes a compelling point with that comment.
Because any idea that ChatGPT could come up with, you can come up with.
Yeah, his comment is based on an idea by ChatGPT, which is similar to like based on a true story. You take one of my streaming picks it says based on a true story from last week was Your Monster.
Mm-hmm.
that says based on a true story, there's no fucking way that's happened.
Yeah.
Because there's a monster living in someone's closet she's carrying on a relationship with. It's like, no, that didn't happen.
Well, maybe it did.
But there are very small parts of the story which I can understand were made from it, and then you put a creative spin on it.
Yeah.
It's like, do I think anything less of that? No, but I get a good chuckle out of it. Yeah. But if I were to see based on an idea from GPT at the beginning, I'm like, this is fucking so lame. This sucks. Well, and then I may enjoy the movie afterwards, and then I hate myself.
Well, then the question is this, though, is that if you're going to put it out there that this movie was based on an AI model that you put in, like the idea you put into an AI model, is it justified for the project to move on forward? Like if you're putting it out there, like, oh, this is based on AI, like, and like you said,
you can do anything you want in the free world.
Well, of course you can, but I mean, like,
is it justified to like win awards? Is it justified to qualify for SAG or whatever? I don't know.
What do you think, Joseph?
I mean, no would be my answer to that.
Yeah.
So even if they were forefronting that, like, okay, we used AI on this. Like, that's not a justification enough to...
It's like, oh, okay, cool, I won't watch it.
Yeah. I ultimately, I think that's where I come down on it, is like, do whatever you want with it, but just be open about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because nothing's more disappointing than watching a movie that you fucking love, and then at the end you go, oh, this part and this part and this part were all done by AI. You're like, I came out of The Brutalist high on that movie. And then after all the stain, I'm like, fuck.
God damn it!
But I'm glad I watched the movie, and even if I knew about the AI usage, I probably wouldn't have watched it.
I already framed the poster and everything.
I know. All right.
It's unfortunate. And
fucking Paul Schrader.
So AI has been a frequent subject on his Facebook. Apparently, he's 78 years old. I guess.
What does his age have to do with anything?
Because he's a boomer.
He's a big boomer.
Prime boomer.
So he said he sent ChatGPT a script that he wrote some years ago and asked for improvements. And he said that in 5 seconds, it responded with notes as good or better than I've ever received from a film executive. In a previous post, he also remarked that he's come to realize that AI is smarter than I am. Has better ideas, has more efficient ways to execute them. This is an existential moment, akin to what Kasparov felt in 1997 when he realized Deep Blue was going to beat him at chess.
Interesting.
And he's got a new movie coming out, or I believe coming out, called Oh Canada, with Richard Gere and Jacob Elordi. That follows a dying filmmaker as he sits for a final interview and reflects on his life and career.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it has premiered at Cannes already. And his next film will be a noir about sexual obsession called Non Compos Mentis. It's about the stupid things that men do for love.
I love it. It's very relevant. Very
relevant.
So yeah, Paul Schrader's next movie generated by
a prompt, a cloud learning model.
Oh my god.
Next, he'll learn that you can make the movie using entirely AI.
Yeah.
And it's just Paul Schrader. Just like, that's the only credit. Just Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader and ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I love Paul Schrader.
Cool.
Yeah, but
not really, but I like the card counter.
But yeah, I mean, it is lazy stuff.
I guess
creatively, it's very lazy.
Yeah, it's lazy.
It's lazy.
I mean, he's not living off 2 candy bars like Charles Bukowski was, working at the post office making.
It's not a competition, Tyler.
Anyways.
But yeah.
All right. Pete, what do you have for us today?
I want to talk a little bit about Carlos Sofia Gasson, which is the Spanish trans actor who starred as the titular Emilia Perez, taking the world by storm. Yeah. And how she has single-handedly derailed the Oscar hopes for that movie.
Thank God, too.
Yes.
Of course, I'm like, thank God it's this movie that's getting this much flack.
Yeah. And it's like, I know that in society today, we hold things to a very, like, an impossibly perfect standard.
We do?
Yes. Like, the general public, they see something and they pile on it, and it's like, you can't make one mistake in the public eye before becoming a pariah. This is not one mistake. This is a history of terrible, terrible like F tier takes that have been dug up on her old social media accounts.
It's not even that old.
No, it's not that old. like a year or two, maybe.
It's been a couple years.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a couple of these tweets that she had written and then since deleted, but people have screenshot them, of course. Okay, so this is from the 2020 Oscars. This is her tweeting about the 2020 Oscars. More and more of the Oscars look like an independent and protest film awards ceremony. I didn't know if I was watching an Afro-Korean festival or a Black Lives Matter demonstration or the 8M. Apart from that, an ugly, ugly gala. They forgot to give an award to my cousin's short film, which is lame.
Okay.
Not too bad. Just kind of like,
It's not
it's weird, but
I mean,
very questionable.
yeah, you're like,
I mean, it's stupid because like the Oscars have always been a platform for people and their
representation.
social.
yeah. So here's another one. Yeah. It's a shame to hear the ministers from Great Britain who are Indian origins and have dark skin say so many hateful words towards trans people. It makes me want to cry watching black women applaud them. They no longer remember when their friends from the UK separated them like animals. Okay. Whatever. She's talking calling people out because they have dark skin. Unnecessary, but
All right.
also they're talking shit about trans people, so okay.
Okay.
It continues. These fucking morons, children of slaves and immigrants, of tribal murderers, are ignorant of history. They throw stones at the statues of men who are looking at a route to the Indies, guilty only of the fact that these people were born there. That sounds good. Progressive. They're talking about like people talking shit about the Trailblazers and da-da-da-da, whatever. But it gets worse. Let's see here. I truly believe that very few people ever cared about George Floyd, a drug addict and a hustler. But his death has served as a highlight once again that there are those who still consider black people to be monkeys without rights and who consider the police to be murderers. All wrong. So, mixed bag there.
Yeah, so
she's talking
she's
specifically
disparaging a man that was
specifically calling George Floyd a drug addict and a hustler. But then also saying, well, some people still think that black people are monkeys, and that's not right.
Yeah.
But then they also think that the police are murderers, which is also not right.
Yeah.
In this case, they did murder a guy.
Okay.
Okay, so continue, and a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's see here. Where is the one about Hitler? All right, here's right when this is in...
This is where it gets
August,
gets bad.
August of 2020, right around when the COVID vaccine came out. The Chinese vaccine, apart from the mandatory chip, comes with 2 spring rolls, a cat that moves its hand, 2 plastic flowers, and a pop-up lantern, 3 telephone lines, and €1 for your first controlled purchase.
Wow.
It's like all about like how it's a Chinese propaganda.
Fucking liberals.
Yeah. And then where is the Hitler quote? Let's see here.
Where is that?
Where is that? I can find that Hitler quote.
There's too many
that's a Jew.
to filter through. I'm surprised there was no Jew talking there. Let's see here. Hitler. Okay. So it says, let me see the image here. I could have sworn I had it, but there's too many.
There's
all right.
many of them.
This is the same old story. Black slaves and women in the kitchen. But it's my opinion that it must be respected. I do not understand so much World War against Hitler. He simply had his opinions of the Jews. Well, that's how the world goes. Praying face, praying emoji.
I mean, and so that
was just his opinion.
He had his differences with the Jews. I mean, that's really
He
what
has
it
his
was.
opinion, and he has his right to his opinion.
Yeah. Well, you're saying I can't feel the way I feel about certain minorities.
okay. I mean, okay. So her position is that Hitler was just some guy who had a differing opinion on
He had beef
human
with the Jews, and
rights
that's it.
and
Can we move on, please? So, anyways, all that has culminated basically in the Oscar, like the leading of they were Emilia Perez was probably going to be winning a lot of Oscars.
13 nominations for that bullshit movie.
13 nominations. So
now all down the drain.
I said it when I gave my review of the movie. I am a pro trans rights and trans wrongs. And just
forgot about the trans wrongs.
Just because you're trans does not mean you cannot be a fucking asshole. And she is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So
it's funny that all of this is coming to light now. Why was there no vetting like process for her to be starring in an Academy Award winning or
she was a trans actress.
nominated movie?
She was a trans actress that spoke the same language but not from the same country.
I mean, the director is also a piece of shit too. So
there's
So it's just piece of shits going around.
but he has since he's commented on those. He had a response saying that he is disappointed with her behavior, even though he's called Spanish the language of poor people.
Disappointed.
oh, Jesus Christ.
So it's just
that's so terrible.
the movie's this movie and the filmmakers behind it are just
It's a fucking dumpster fire.
and it's nominated 13 times.
Yeah.
Yep, it's not winning anything.
So Netflix now, because of all this, is distancing himself from Carla Sofia Gasson in an effort to salvage the film's Oscar prospects. All new promotional for your consideration material emits her photos, emits her name. They're focusing on Selena Gomez, who's not even nominated. They're putting her in all the promotional material. And they've also said, let's see here. Where is it here? Oh, she says that they're not paying for any of her travel or hotel accommodations when she's making publicity stops for the promotion of the Oscars for Amelia Perez.
Oof.
They said if she intends to make these stops, it would fall on Gasson to pay for everything from her airfare to her accommodations. The actress was a relatively unknown when she got the life-changing title role of Amelia Perez, which meant that she was paid roughly $100,000 for her role in the film. According to sources, she did not respond for comment of any of this. So it's a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
It's so terrible because she is the first openly trans person ever to be nominated for an Oscar. And like that's the person that is representing that community. This Hitler apologist.
Let's get Hunter Schafer out there. We want her nominated instead.
Like,
well, what about Elliot Page? You know,
he needs to do something good.
That's true.
Well, he's just been in TV shows.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything good since he was a she. It's like when Hard Candy was fucking dope.
Oh, Hard Candy.
Juno, fantastic in Juno.
Great.
I mean, didn't really love the movie, but portrayed the character well.
It should have been Elliot Page the whole time. This other person, this Hitler apologist. It was a fluke. It was a fluke.
Yeah, and Amelia Perez and The Brutalist used the same AI quote software for the language or the
Well, that's the final nail in the coffin.
the
I
re-speecher.
don't really care about the re-speecher. I feel like that's really just a better version of ADR. To be honest.
I don't even know what that is, but
ADR is like additional dialogue.
Recording?
You go.
I know what ADR is. I didn't know what that other word you just said.
Re-speecher?
Yeah,
That's the program. It
Oh, okay.
makes the
Yeah.
accent sound better or something.
Yeah, it's like they use like Amelia Perez used it as like a kind of like an auto tune almost for her singing because she can't sing in a musical.
Wait, hold on a second. That was after the auto tune. God, that was bad.
I know it was really bad.
Yeah. Anyways, couldn't have happened to a better movie. So moving on.
Well, all right, cool. Well, let us get into streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the
Streaming picks, movies that we watched that are streaming on your favorite streaming services. I'm gonna be commandeering the ship once again.
Oh, you're gonna lead us off?
Leading us off.
This is
with my-
unprecedented.
I know it isn't. I know it's been 2 weeks. It's been too long. And plus I only have one streaming pick, and I'm sure you guys have multiple streaming picks. So
Well, we're gonna limit it because we're trying to get the show under an hour, and we're already at an hour.
we are really
50 minutes.
2 weeks of
cool. Well,
Yeah.
I'll make this quick then.
I'm just saying I'm not doing 7 movies. That's all I'm saying.
So my streaming pick for this episode is 2020's Voices in the Wind. This is
Where'd you hear about this movie? Huh?
on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no jive. I heard it on the internet. It wasn't from a fan of the show.
All right.
Voices in the Wind. It's a Japanese tragedy porn of a movie. The movie is about. I'm just gonna read the overview that I have right here in front of me. In In her search for answers, 17-year-old Haru sets out on a long journey across the country to the town where in 2011, the devastating tsunami swept away her brother and parents. This road trip takes the young woman who is still haunted by her loss from Hiroshima to Tokyo and Fukushima and all the way to Atsushi, where her family home once stood. On the way, she encounters other people, other stories, other lives, other losses. Pretty much, I wouldn't say a coming-of-age story, but it's more of a tale of grief and the processing it. Yeah, this movie, you guys would love it. It is
Really?
It is pornographic in cinematography terms.
Really? It's like dripping with style or whatever.
What did you say it was called?
Voices in the Wind?
Voices in the Wind.
Okay.
Voices.
Directed by Nobuhiro Suwa.
I love them.
Yeah, I have no idea. This is a foreign film that I found on TikTok. And
The internet.
well, it is technically the internet, right?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, okay, well,
Oh, dear leader, we want to use your glorious platform to find all of our movies from here on out.
yeah,
That guy's got soul, man.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
but yeah, Voices in the Wind. It is such a beautiful movie, and if you want to cry, this is the movie that you're like, if I need a good cry, put this movie on. Streaming on YouTube for free.
Oh, okay.
So it's very accessible to everyone.
Got
and I think what I really liked about this movie was that it was like poetic with its shots. It's almost like there's barely any dialogue in it.
That's cool.
And the dialogue within the movie isn't really pertinent to like the plot. It's just more so about. I thought it was interesting because I never really like watched a movie like this where a young person being affected by like a natural disaster and then them dealing with normal, because life goes on after like bad shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're seeing her. And it's not even a journey. It's just like a period in her life. And it's not even like over years. It's like, I think it's like probably like over 6 months maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Where she deals with this like trauma, like this horrible trauma. Like her family is just swept away by a tsunami. And there's a really great scene where she goes back to like her old home. And like just like collapses on the ground, and it's just like saying like why is this happening? And but it's not done like over dramatically. It feels really natural, and I think the reason why it feels very natural is because of how it's shot. It's hard to explain, but really it's like you're kind of like watching it like from like a perspective of like if you were a person like that was like standing like maybe like the distance I'm standing away from you, Pete, or sitting from you, Pete, like it's like you're just watching this person like break down.
Okay.
And you're just like a creep just like watching them. It's like,
See, when you watch this movie, you feel like a
You
creep.
feel like a creep.
yeah, kind of like it's
voyeuristic.
It's
I
a
like
very
that.
yeah. I was gonna say it's a very voyeuristic sort of film, but like the shots are so great. Like
I'm
the
about to have the
angles.
hardest boner right now.
I was crying and I had a boner.
That's going on the board.
But
I'll put the link in the show notes so people can.
but yeah, you can definitely. It's 2 hour and 20 minutes. So it's a little bit of a long watch. And you don't. Again, like the whole plot of the movie isn't really important. Like I think it's more of the visual aspect of the movie that's more
It's just
important.
a vibe.
It is. Yeah, it is. So yeah, Voices in the Wind, check that out on YouTube for free. And it has subtitles too, because they all speak in Japanese.
Oh, okay. Go figure.
It's not that immersive where you're like you're an American in
No
a foreign
subtitles.
country, no subtitles.
Ooh, and then I started rewatching the Batman the Animated Series. Check that out on Amazon Prime. So great.
The original one or the new one?
Oh, the original one.
Okay.
Yeah, OG one. So good. So good. Such a great writing. Kevin Conroy, man. What a great... He's the greatest Batman of them all. Anyways, Joseph, what do you have for us this week?
Well, 2 weeks of no show, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
So, and then being sick for 2 of the days. So I
was gonna say you're probably binging a lot
at home from work. So I did watch a lot, but I'm not gonna go through all of them. I'll do some. I have some payoffs.
Oh, cool.
Other stream picks. So I'll do those really quickly. Greenland, with Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
A disaster movie, asteroids coming to destroy Earth, planet killer, asteroid. It's a fun thriller.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Kind of like grounded sort of movie. Reminded me of War of the Worlds a little bit.
Yeah, a little. You're right.
Except with just an asteroid, not aliens. And because there's one scene where they're all trying to get on the planes, and there's a big crowd of people, military stopping them, and they're just like it's just barricade.
Yeah.
And then there's like something's happening.
It's like World War Z, that part.
And then there's like a mystery part of it too in the beginning. It's like, why was he selected? Why are these people selected and not these people?
Yeah.
You know, and then you, as the story unravels, you learn why. And then the end of the movie was interesting that they showed like kind of like the aftermath. And it made me kind of question, and I asked Deanna, I was like, and I'll ask you guys too, if something like that was happening, like planet killers, asteroids coming in 24 hours, and there are places you can go to survive.
Yeah.
Would you rather survive in a wasteland or die with the asteroid?
Wasteland.
I obviously I would probably just not do anything and just
just
whatever happened.
Because there's some people in the movie that are
yeah.
like having a party on a roof, you know, embracing the end of life.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Like I would just be.
I would just continue with my job.
I would literally be doing this.
I'd still be delivering packages.
Well, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're like, do you want to even continue living with the entire society collapsed and Earth resetting itself and being basically having to live off the land?
Yeah, everything is destroyed. And
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't give a shit. Whatever happens.
I'm like, would I want to live underground, like Fallout style?
Fuck no.
Or
I don't think they had to live underground for that long, though, right?
Well, not
Can you get laid down there?
Not like in Fallout because
Then no.
It's perfectly set up for them. There's no like radiation or anything for them.
Exactly.
It's just like it's just everything is obliterated and burnt to a crisp.
Society's gone, but it's not like it's like dangerous out there.
No,
I mean, the road is the perfect interpretation of the apocalypse.
But when the world's over, it's not like the road. Like,
what do you mean? It's not
you'll
like
have to watch the movie.
okay.
yeah.
Greenland.
So Greenland, that was fun. It was a fun movie, and that was streaming on Max.
Oh, okay, cool.
Max.
Yeah,
kind of a turn your brain off movie.
Okay.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nicolas Cage
with Pedro Pascal
playing himself movie. Netflix, streaming on Netflix and Tubi. That's a fun movie. Very comedic and meta in a way because Nicolas Cage is playing himself and like Pedro Pascal plays an obsessive fan, and he is part of like a drug cartel in Spain or Portugal, one of the two. And there's a little bit of a reveal that happens later in the movie that I won't give away. That you kind of see it coming because you're like questioning, like, is he the guy? Is he actually part of this family? Is he not? And Nicolas Cage ends up working for the CIA because they're trying to take down Pedro Pascal and his operation essentially.
Right.
And so Nicolas Cage gets caught in the middle because he gets hired to go to his birthday party because he doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, I'll do it. I'm retiring from acting and I'll do this birthday party because I have to pay off my hotel debt that I'm staying at.
That's that self-awareness of Nicolas Cage, man.
And also starring...
Take notes, Steven. What's it called?
Ike Barinholtz and Neil Patrick Harris. Demi Moore is in it. David Gordon Green, I guess, is in it. But yeah, it's fun. It was a fun movie. for sure. And that's streaming on Tubi and Netflix.
I had a lot of fun with that movie.
Yeah, it's fun. All the references and like you see the memorabilia and the collection that Pedro Pascal has at one point of Nicolas Cage movies.
Them high as fuck driving around the island is so fun.
Yeah. Him kind of like battling with his younger self, like from the 90s era of Nicolas Cage. His like loose cannon and very unhinged version of himself.
Yeah.
Almost like a Raising Cain type of parallel there. I watched Fata Morgana, Werner Herzog.
You did?
Movie.
Interesting.
It's not really a documentary. You're not really following anything specifically. There's a narration of a story, and I can't remember.
It's like the origination of life.
It's
based off of the
creation myth.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Being read by different people throughout the movie, and it's all visuals, kind of like a Koyaanisqatsi Scotzi Francis Ford Coppola movie. It was like kind of like watching a screensaver.
Yeah.
Because you're just getting these like the beginning of the movie is like 5 minutes of planes landing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
you're like, why?
It's like, all right, come on, Werner. Let's get to the next one. And then you see a bunch of like sand dunes and like eventually you see like dead
animals,
decaying cows.
Yeah,
and
they're
stuff.
like rotting in the desert.
Yeah.
But like people live here.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. I don't think I'd revisit it. But
no, I wouldn't.
But it was early Werner, released in 1971, and streaming on Tubi.
He said he would sit in the back of that truck and they would just drive him around and he'd wait for something interesting to happen and record it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Punk rock, man.
Yeah.
So one of the better movies that I watched, documentary, American movie.
Good one.
1999, starring real people, Mark Borchardt and Mike Shank, who is one of the most wholesome people you've ever seen on camera, who has unfortunately passed away at this point.
Mike Shank has?
Yeah, he died in like 2022 or 20,
That's a shame.
Something like that, of throat cancer. And watching him on screen, Mike Shank's character, there's no way that there are fictional characters, like actors who saw that and imitated his cadence.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first person that comes to mind is either it's like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite, or the Justin Long's friend in Sasquatch Gang.
Oh yeah.
The guy with the blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar cadence and a lisp, and he is just like this kind of. I don't want to say he's like stupid, but he's very aloof and just very wholesome. Like there's one part in the movie where he's like obsessed with playing like a lottery or at the liquor store, and at one point he goes, he's really smiley, just like in a really good mood, and the filmmakers ask him like why are you so happy, or what you seem so like positive right now.
Yeah,
he's like, later today I just won $50 and I don't want to tell anybody because they might ask me for money.
He's such a goofball, that guy.
Yeah. And the premise of the documentary is Mark Borchardt is like he wants to be a filmmaker really, really bad, and he's really trying to do that. And he's part of the movie, he's finishing up a short film that he started like 2 years ago called Coven.
And
then he wants to make...
He says Coven, but it's spelled Coven.
Yeah, I know.
It's not Coven, it's Coven. It's spelled Coven.
Yeah, Coven.
I love it.
And they're from like Minnesota.
I think it's Wisconsin.
Minnesota?
I think it's Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
And it's a really good documentary. It's really entertaining for sure, because this guy, the main character, the main guy, Mark, he's like kind of a dick,
delusional,
very but he's very passionate.
Bad dad.
He's very passionate about like making movies, but he just doesn't.
God damn it! I think I've watched this
have
movie
the gumption or the motivation to like do it right away.
No,
he really takes his time. And then you see his uncle, I believe, who is just he's literally dying on camera. Every time you see him, he just is like worse and worse and worse.
He's his backer.
Yeah, yeah.
When am I gonna see this movie? All this money I've been giving you.
I know. And he's just this old dude. He's like he starts old and he ends just like he's like a skeleton
Just decrepit.
by the end of the movie. That's streaming on Amazon Prime.
That's a great one.
And Pluto. That's really solid. New from last year, Kneecap, streaming on Netflix.
Nice.
I saw it dropped on Netflix. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that it was here.
Cool. Bruce is going to be happy you watched that one.
Yeah, Kneecap was dope. Really, really fun movie.
Bruce says American Movie 2 is just following Tyler around as he tries to eventually watch a movie recommended by one of us. Talking about his debt, smoking the whole time.
Yeah, it would be good if I was a little bit more charismatic. But
no, that's the point.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're a mix of Mike Shank and Mark.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So Kneecap streaming on Netflix is about a real life rap group starring the real life rap group called Kneecap, and they are very like they're very pro Ireland, anti IRA, I believe is what it is.
Oh, okay.
I think they're pro, and they're anti England.
Yeah, and they want to preserve the Irish language. They really want to keep that, so they rap in that language.
Wait, I didn't know Ireland. I thought they spoke in English. They don't.
Gaelic.
Gaelic is their language.
It was outlawed by the government because they wanted to like uniform, like put English into their territory of Ireland.
So is that why they have like the like accent to their language?
What, Irish?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a whole part of separate.
It was
part
a
of the
language
world.
first. And then England came in,
and they changed. They basically made it illegal to teach like Gaelic in school, and they teach English in school, and like trying to erase part of that culture. And these guys are pushing back against it.
Yeah, and so they rap in that language.
Interesting.
And the story starts with Michael Fassbender plays the father of one of them, and he's like an Irish what do you call it, a rebel essentially. Mm-hmm. And he like raises his kids or his kid to speak that language.
He's in the IRA?
No, I don't think so. Like he's not a government official or anything.
I think IRA is the rebel force.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, the ones that do the bombings.
I see. And then at one point he just kind of vanishes from the family, and he fakes his death.
Oh, okay.
so that the police or the law doesn't like look for him, and but his kid and his mom know that he's still alive, but he just isn't with them.
Got it.
And so it shows like these
patriots,
these three people coming together, these three kids, and one of them is actually a teacher. And he like sidelines is like a DJ, like he has a storage unit with like DJ equipment, and he makes beats and stuff. And they end up together because one of them gets in trouble, is being interrogated by the police, and this teacher who speaks and teaches that language in his class gets hired to be a translator because the kid refuses to speak English to the police officer.
Oh, interesting.
And so they end up linking up afterwards, and then they go on this whole like
Let's start a rap group
essentially. And it's really entertaining. It's a really well crafted movie. It's kind of like an Edgar Wright-ish style. Mm-hmm. But not as like clean cut, I guess, as an Edgar Wright style.
Yeah.
But it's really well made, and it's really entertaining and pretty funny.
It's been on my watch list since they covered it on Cinematics, and I'm glad it's on Netflix now. I just bumped it to the top.
Yeah, and again, it's the actual guys from the rap group itself, and then at the end of the movie, they show like some actual like BTS of them on tour and stuff. So yeah, that's streaming on Netflix. I recommend for sure. I watched Blink twice, streaming on Amazon Prime. I knew zero about this movie going into it, and it was entertaining for sure. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a wild movie, directed by Zoe Kravitz, which was also kind of crazy. But I guess I'm glad that she directed this and not a man.
Yeah,
because I did not know where it was going at all. Channing Tatum plays like a billionaire who says something problematic before the movie, like does some like, I don't know, questionable behavior. He gets sort of outcasted. He makes an apology, and then he buys an island. And and they go there that's where he lives now, and he just lives off the island. I was also not expecting the cast in this movie. Simon Rex, Christian Slater, Gina Davis.
I forgot Simon Rex is in this.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis is in this. Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan is in this briefly. This was entertaining, and the twists and reveals that I won't mention because I had no idea, and I was pleasantly surprised. And
was it like a thriller or something?
Yes,
okay.
It ends up being a thriller, and it will remind you of other movies, kind of like The Most Dangerous Game a little bit, and also Get Out.
Yeah, definitely.
Get Out.
Yeah. So this was streaming on Prime, definitely worth a watch, and especially if you know nothing about it, strong recommend. Another documentary streaming on Netflix, documentary movie, The Remarkable Life of Ibelan.
Oh yeah, I heard
is about a
depressing.
Yeah, it's sad. It's about a World of Warcraft gamer who was born with Duchenne syndrome, essentially muscular dystrophy.
Yeah,
oh,
it's like wheelchair bound, can't walk, can't.
And like as he got older, the condition got worse. So he got more and less mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually he was just wheelchair bound and can only like move his hands so much, and had to have like specific devices made so he could continue playing WoW. And which was the only thing that he liked doing, because
he was able to live a full life.
It was the only thing that he could really do, and while still experiencing life. And the documentary is made and mostly shown through WoW cinematics. So they had animators essentially reenact real life chat logs.
Okay,
and they got voice actors that essentially play the roles of each of the people involved in the documentary, because he joins like a guild in WoW.
Well, was he at least a good player? Like, I mean, I'm trying to grab at like why would this be a compelling documentary? I'm going to be honest with you.
Because he essentially was he kept his life secret from all the online friends that he made in WoW. So they didn't know that he had this condition.
Right. Okay.
And he only chatted with them. He didn't voice chat with them.
And isn't a lot of it's told through his parents finding out this after his death?
So like the first 20 minutes is like it goes through his life, and he dies, and he kept a blog.
He dies.
He kept. Why is that funny?
Every time.
I just the way
a real life person who had a life afflicting illness who was debilitating, and you're like, he dies. Fucking good for him. Good. Tyler's cackling.
Sorry.
He's dead.
I'm sorry.
Did I hear you right? He's dead.
I'm sorry. Just
anyway,
keep going.
He dies, and that story's told within the first 20 minutes.
He's still laughing,
and then it shows the parents finding out, because they kept on getting these messages after they posted on his blog that like we're sad to announce the death of our son. And they had no idea that he had this following, these friends, because he didn't talk about it with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Oh, I had no idea he had this much of an impact on all these people." And then it goes through the documentary. And it shows him essentially like helping out all of his other friends who are going through different problems in their life, and how he would like basically just be their rock in each of these person's lives and help them.
Okay, so
emotionally,
he was popular in his guild,
mentally, but they had no idea of any of his issues. So when it happens, when they find out that he passed away, they like essentially they hold like a funeral for him.
Oh, in the game,
in the game, and
that's cool.
And he developed, online relationships with one or two players, almost like romantically.
Oh.
And this happens over a period of years.
Jeez.
Yeah. And it's really
So he was just like a really prolific WoW player that
I mean, he was just he played WoW, and he was with people who really like got into like the role play aspect of the RPG game. You know, and like his job in WoW was that he was like a detective.
Nice.
In WoW.
That's awesome.
And
badass.
But then like the relationships blossomed into like, you know, learning about each other's actual lives.
Yeah.
Except that he just didn't tell them about his own. And so they didn't know that he was like suffering from this condition. And it's a really
like a bummer documentary.
it's really wholesome. It's
wholesome.
I've heard it's good and just sad.
It's sad, but it's also very like inspiring.
That's cool.
And strong recommend. Really strong.
Life of Ibelan, Secret Life of Ibelan.
Ibelan, yeah. The Remarkable Life of Ibelan.
Remarkable Life, got it.
Yeah.
That's another one I heard from Cinematics.
And then my last one, not a movie, streaming on Netflix. Finally watched Midnight Mass.
Ooh, the whole series?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, me and Deanna.
That's your first run? Wow.
Yeah. Me and Deanna were like, let's watch a show. We don't watch too many shows, like new shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched it in 2 days.
That's a good one too, because you know it just ends and it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was all right. It was
It's all right.
It's fair.
It was of the Flanagan shows, it was probably like the second best.
What's the first one?
The Hill House.
Honey, a Hill House.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only seen bits and pieces of his other stuff, but this is easily my favorite. I just love the iconography of what you see. I don't want to say what it is because it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool reveal.
I mean, there was some spoilers already kind of revealed to me like years ago, like images of screenshots, but in the context, I didn't know. I didn't like the writing of it. There were so many monologues.
Like the dialogue?
Yeah. There was like way too many monologues, and it's just like it's two people and just one person is just talking and
like trauma dumping on the other one.
And it's like no one talks like this.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate reality of like limited series is you get a lot of that shit.
Yeah. And then I feel like I lost a little bit of steam once the reveal happens. But like when it was good, it was really good. And I like the main character, and then something happens to him.
I would have liked it even more. I loved it, but I feel and I understand what you're saying, and I feel like it would have been a great 2.5 hour movie.
Yes.
Be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never
give
really
it
thought
the
about
Dr.
that.
Sleep treatment.
I never thought about that, but I completely agree with you.
There was a lot of bits of it where it kind of dragged.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, let's get to the
fucking.
Let's get to the next thing, you know? But overall, it was pretty good. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about most Mike Flanagan stuff. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There was like some things I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of get a little hint. So yeah, that's streaming on Netflix. It came out in 2021, which is crazy. I thought it came out in like 2023.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have.
That's it.
That's it. I could keep going.
7 things.
I could keep going. Pete, what do you got for us this week?
All right, I'm going to go worst to first, and 2 of them are ones that I don't really recommend renting.
Renting.
Yeah, first one is on Starz. We don't have Starz. We ended up renting it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to see what the hype was about, or the anti-hype. And this is Borderlands, one of the most derided movies of last year. Yeah, the movie, starring Cate Blanchett,
Cate Blanchett,
and Kevin Hart.
Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Edgar Ramirez, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ariana Greenblatt, who's the girl who plays Wolverine's daughter.
Yeah.
Also, the Barbie main character's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Florian Montreux, Janine Kravenkar, Jack Black, Gina Gershon, Bobby Lee, Haley Bennett. Very star-studded cast. Also a great soundtrack full of great songs that do not deserve to be in this movie. So this movie's a fucking mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't great.
Like, like if I was like a kid, I wouldn't care anything about the visuals. It would be like a fun, like nonstop, energetic time or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's literally it feels like just loud noises happening for no reason in most of the movie, and every cliche that you can cram into a scene is crammed into it. And it's really disappointing, mainly too because it was written and directed by Eli Roth. It doesn't seem like one of his movies at all.
Really?
Yeah.
He wrote and directed this.
Yeah. Story by Eli Roth. I'm sure there was a billion other writers involved with it too.
I had no idea.
I know. I didn't know until the end. The credits came up and I'm like, well, that sucked. And like, story by Eli Roth. I'm like, what? And Brianna goes, well, he directed it too. I'm like, holy wait a second. And say what you will about Eli Roth, right? He has his own specific like vibe for shit.
Yeah.
It's Hostel, it's Knock Knock, it's Thanksgiving,
Green Inferno,
Cabin Fever,
the Bear Jew.
Yeah, he plays the Bear Jew. Yeah, the same. Oh, that's a
Bear Jew.
That's a Bear Jew. And then this. And this is one of those movies that was like, it's been around for years, and like people abandoned the project, and then the project was abandoning other people. So I understand it's one of those developmental developmental like smorgasbord, like a gangbang of different writers have been through this movie, and they had to do so many reshoots that the young girl who plays like the kind of second lead, she's like the focus point of the lore of the movie. Mm-hmm. She aged up and got like a foot taller from the time that the movie started filming to the time that it ended. So there's clearly scenes where it's like an actual child standing in with the wig on. And it's just the back of her head. And specifically, they did reshoots. And it's like the character that Cate Blanchett's supposed to be playing is in the game is supposed to be like 25. She's like 57.
Yeah, she's like 50 something.
Yeah, she's late 50s, maybe even 60s.
Yeah.
And I have her playing a 25-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen 25-year-olds? They do not look like Cate Blanchett.
I have, oddly enough. I have
very
seen 25-year-olds.
few people look like Cate Blanchett.
Yeah. And it's just a mess. It's just a mess. Like none of it matters. All the story is shit you've seen before, and it's like they take a really cool property, which I know nothing about the Borderlands movie or show game.
Yeah.
But I was watching it with producer Justice, who was baking cookies. He was baking cookies while we were watching this movie, and every time he'd walk over and like look at the screen, he'd go, "Every time I look at the screen, I get madder and madder." It's like some of the characters.
This movie angered him.
Some of the characters are true to the story, but they're just like full character assassination.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart's character is supposed to be a very serious character, and they got a comedic actor to play him. Mm-hmm. And all the other characters are supposed to be goofy, and they have serious actors playing them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just a mess. You could absolutely.
Everyone in this room is now dumber.
It was bad. So don't watch Borderlands.
All right.
Okay.
Another one that we had to rent because I was kind of hyped about it was Wolfman. Lee Wanell's Wolfman.
Oh, you can rent it. You can rent it already.
Yeah,
that's the second
rental.
worst one.
Yeah, this is the second worst one.
No,
and it's a 3-star movie, like a soft 3, unfortunately. And there's a lot to love about it, but there's also a lot of confusing and like just bad acting in it, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah, the main.
I had a lot of high hopes.
The main character in it, Christopher Abbott, he's great. He's great in everything, and in this, he's no different. I think he is probably the best part in it. But Julia Garner plays his wife, and she's the girl from Ozark with the bright white curly hair.
Oh, okay.
You know,
if you want to stop me, you have to fucking kill me.
Yeah, I don't know that line.
Fucking kill me.
Is that from Ozark or something?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, she's not good in this.
No?
Yeah, she's not good in this. She's like, there's scenes that have really heavy emotional like weight to them, and she delivers the line as if he basically just said, I'm going to be late to work, and then she's like, oh, okay. It's like so monotone, so understated, and there's like you don't.
Are you going to be a wolf now?
Yeah. What are you, some sort of wolf man or something?
God,
you're just like your dad. But and then there's the young girl who plays their daughter, Matilda Firth. Not good.
Also
not good. And then, like I can't blame her for it, but it's just unfortunate when you get like two of the and then by the time he starts turning into the Wolf Man, it's just them two left, and you're left with two bad actors.
Dang.
And I like her. I like Julia Garner. She's great in the things I've seen her in, but she's not good in this. So
That's a shame.
Which, yeah, it leads me to believe that Lee Wanell is just giving bad direction.
What did Lee Wanell do?
He wrote Saw. He did The Conjurings. He did The Invisible Man.
He directed The Conjurings?
Upgrade, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I guess I should have...
Upgrade. That ring a bell.
Upgrade's the best thing so far.
So good, yeah. And I like generally, like, when he did The Invisible Man, and it was way better than anybody expected, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then he was announced for The Wolfman. I'm like, shit, they're going to go... The dark universe that Universal like abandoned, he's gonna like take it back one by one, and it was fine. Like, it's not bad, but it's just wait for it to stream for free because it's uneven, but it is cool. And here's the thing too: everybody says that the quality of a werewolf movie hinges on the transformation. Instead of being like the one scene where they hit the moonlight and then transform into the wolf. It's a slow, gradual turn.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. I didn't like every stage of it, but like they'll be in the house and then they're like, oh, we need to get into the doctor. And they'll like go into the truck. And just from that 5 minutes, the prosthetics have subtly changed. And he's looking more wolf-like by every 10 minutes. He's getting worse and worse. And I did really like all that.
It's like an infection.
Yeah, it is. It's gross. There's some really gross stuff in it.
Nice.
So Wolfman, wait for it to stream. In my opinion, don't pay the $20. I think that it is worth watching, just not for that price.
Yeah, instead buy Nosferatu instead.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't mention it, but I watched Werewolves as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to talk about it now. We're already an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's fun movie, but it was
fun, but not
makes
great.
No sense.
No. There's so much that doesn't make sense.
And I
about
have
that.
questions about werewolf and moons and stuff.
Yeah.
But
better get your moon block, my guy.
Yeah.
Next one is a movie I'd never heard of before. Just kind of popped up as a recommendation on Amazon Prime called Addicted to Fresno. And I thought, who could be addicted to Fresno?
Addicts in Fresno.
Yeah. And it is about a sex addict in Fresno, played by Judy Greer. Also, Natasha Lyonne is her sister, who is basically helping her get through her addiction. It's also streaming on Freevee, Hoopla, Peacock, Plex, Pluto, Reverie. Never heard of that one before.
Reverie. Just making shit up now.
Roku and Tubi.
They're just making shit
So all the free places you can get it, plus Amazon Prime and Peacock. And this is better than I was expecting, but still not great. It's directed by Jamie Babbitt, who did But I'm a Cheerleader. That's their most famous project. Aubrey Plaza is in this. You might find that that's a very good one. She plays a fun part, and it's like a very charismatic part. And it's kind of a raunchy comedy that works in a lot of places, and you could do a whole lot worse. So it's trashy. It's set in Fresno. They're hotel cleaners.
Yeah, say no more, Fresno.
Yeah, and they're trying to get out, or maybe they're not trying to get out because they're addicted to Fresno. So yeah, there's that. I watched a new movie that just came out on Amazon Prime called You're Cordially Invited with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. That's the two-hander. Basically, Will Ferrell is a single dad. He's a widow. His daughter is getting married. She's played by Geraldine Viswanathan, who is great. She's a great actress, comedic actress, who's a young comedic actress. I love her in everything I've seen her in, and she's really funny in this. And I've always had a soft spot for Reese Witherspoon. I think she's super charming. She's a great actress in general. She's funny, and she's gorgeous to boot. So in this, her sister is getting married, and they both book the same venue through a hilarious series of events. They book the same venue, and they have to have a joint wedding, basically.
Double wedding.
Yeah. And Will Ferrell is somebody who I have a soft spot for. I loved his early stuff, and he did a string of objectively bad movies.
Yeah.
But he also has a lot of hits. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to discredit that because this feels like peak Ferrell. Like there's some cringe stuff mixed in here, which you're going to get with any Will Ferrell stuff. But there's also a lot of heart, and there's it's really good editing, and the dialogue has some really great writing. This is written and directed by Nicholas Stoller, who also wrote Forgetting Sarah Marshall, directed Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He directed Neighbors 2, the sequel. He also wrote and directed Bros, that gay rom-com comedy from a few years ago with Billy Eichner in the lead. So he's got a track record, and I think if the comedy of those movies worked for you, you're gonna like this. If it didn't, you're not gonna like it. There's some very hard-edged humor in here, and then there's some very like cheesy rom-com sort of stuff. But Will Ferrell is in peak form, in my opinion, in this. Right. Yeah. So listener Steven spent probably... He like live tweeted this movie while he was watching it on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And fucking hated it. He's like actively stay away, run away from this movie, go in the opposite direction. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore. I liked it.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. So, but my number one recommendation is nothing new, but it is something that I revisited, and I thought that it was so much. It holds up in my mind. It was a great, hilarious comedy that is just fires on all cylinders, and this is Miss Congeniality.
Oh yeah,
from the year 2000.
I would agree.
Streaming on Netflix.
Okay.
Michael Caine as the flamboyant gay pageant coach is perfect. William Shatner as the goofy but charming pageant
host.
Host.
He's the host.
Michael Caine is a pageant coach. William Shatner is a pageant host, and Candace.
They say my birthday in that name.
And Candace
in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And Candace Bergen as the like deranged like pageant lead is fantastic. The girls that she interacts with is great. Sandra Bullock is charming and bumbling and funny and nails it. And she's so fucking hot when she comes out of that airplane hangar after getting the full makeover and overnight.
Yeah.
She walks out in that purple dress, and I'm like.
I love
in the year 2000, my freshman year of high school, I was like, holy shit, Tyra Banks, who? That was my obsession back then.
That's my wife.
Yeah. She's so good, and she's so funny, and Benjamin Bratt plays a very good like opposite to her
partner.
Yeah. He's like pushing her buttons and is hateful but also kind of charming and hot or whatever, but she's great in this. So Miss Congeniality, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? If you've seen it, hasn't seen it in a long time, now's your recommendation. It's a good weeknight movie.
Yeah
On Netflix. So that's what I got.
Love it. All right, well, that does it for this week's show.
You guys have anything else you wanted to say?
If anyone has anything else to say, please say it now or forever hold your peace.
Joseph?
Chat?
All right. Hey, Jack's in the chat. What's up, Jack?
He's gone.
Oh, okay.
Well. And he's gone. All right.
If you like Dexter, go watch. If you're watching the prequel
series, we had
messages
to play.
Oh yeah, I do. We'll do it on another episode that's not an hour and a half long.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're watching the new Dexter prequel series, go check out Let's Crash This Parade, all one word on YouTube. That's our friend Jack Fitzpatrick. He's got a great series, episode by episode breakdown. So. Yes. All right. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. If you want to support us too, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass or just watch on the YouTube. That helps as well. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter, we stream, pick, and we talk about Paul Schrader and AI and Carla Sofia Garzon.
Yeah.
Falls
comebacks.
And comebacks, yeah. Falls later in the week as we review, what is that? Killing of a Sacred Deer.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and Twitter at Podcast of DFC.
We made it. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
He's dead.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later. That's a wrap. Great show.